All right, get ready, because we're taking a deep dive today into Chet Holmes, the ultimate sales machine.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you sent over some really interesting excerpts from the audiobook, and
Yeah.
I gotta admit, even I was surprised by how much this book, focused on sales,
Right.
applies to, like, so much more.
Yeah.
They're talking Fortune 500 level strategies
Right.
that can help you sell anything from products to ideas to
Yeah.
even yourself.
Yeah. What's really intriguing about Holmes's approach is that he recognizes that sales isn't just about closing deals, it's about influence and persuasion skills that are valuable in every aspect of your life.
It's true. Think about it. Whether
Yeah.
you're like pitching a project at work, or negotiating a better rate on your car insurance, or even like convincing your friends to try that new restaurant you love.
Right.
You're using sales techniques.
Yeah.
And Holmes gives you the tools to become like a master persuader. He starts with this idea of sharpening the saw, which is all about the power of ongoing training.
Right. The analogy is that a lumberjack who takes the time to sharpen his saw will ultimately cut down more trees than one who just keeps hacking away with a dull blade.
Yeah.
Right. So Holmes is arguing that the same principle applies to building a high-performing team. It's not enough to train them once and expect them to retain everything.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
When was the last time you sat through like a one-time training session
Right.
and walked away feeling like a total expert?
Yeah.
Probably never.
Exactly. True mastery comes from repetition and reinforcement.
Right.
Holmes uses the example of customer acquisition training.
Gotcha.
If you do one big training session, people might grasp the basics,
Right.
but they'll forget most of it within a week.
Yeah.
But if you space out the training, you revisit the concepts regularly and build on what they've learned.
Yeah.
The knowledge really sinks in.
That's so true. It's like learning a new language or a musical instrument.
Yeah.
It's that consistent practice,
Mm-hmm.
that constant exposure to the material
Yeah.
that makes it stick.
Right.
I bet you've seen this in your own work.
No, absolutely.
The difference between, a one-time training and like ongoing professional development.
Absolutely. And to really maximize the impact of training, Holmes is a big advocate for workshops.
Okay.
He believes that bringing teams together to learn and brainstorm in a collaborative setting leads to more innovative and effective strategies.
He tells this great story about a carpet cleaner who missed a golden opportunity to upsell a client.
Oh, yeah.
The guy was cleaning an elderly woman's rug,
Okay.
and he noticed the rug pad underneath was like completely shredded.
Oh,
But instead of mentioning it and offering to replace it,
Right.
he just like kept quiet,
yeah.
afraid of seeming pushy.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
It's a perfect example of how lack of training can lead to missed opportunities. Now imagine if that carpet cleaner had gone through a workshop where the team role-played different upselling scenarios.
Right.
He could have practiced different approaches, gotten feedback from his colleagues, and refined his pitch in a safe environment before facing a real customer.
It's like having a practice arena
Yeah.
where you can test out your moves before the big game.
Absolutely.
And because everyone is contributing their ideas and experiences, you end up with a sales strategy that's been, vetted and refined by the entire team,
Right.
not just one person's perspective.
Exactly. It's about harnessing the collective wisdom of the group.
Right.
And this collaborative approach actually ties in nicely with Holmes's next big idea,
Okay.
education-based marketing.
This one really blew my mind.
Yeah.
He talks about 2 furniture stores, one that focuses solely on selling couches,
Okay.
and another that takes a completely different approach. Right. They educate their customers about everything from the history of furniture design
Wow.
to the craftsmanship that goes into each piece.
Mhm.
They even talk about like the impact furniture can have on your well-being and productivity.
It's about going beyond the transactional
Right.
and creating a deeper connection with your customers.
Yeah.
Think about it. Would you rather buy a couch from someone who just throws a price tag at you,
Right.
or someone who takes the time to educate you, answer your questions, and helps you make an informed decision?
It's like the difference between buying a prepackaged sandwich at the grocery store
Yeah.
and going to a deli where the person behind the counter
Right.
can tell you all about the different meats and cheeses and breads. And,
Yeah.
like, helps you create the perfect sandwich for your taste.
Exactly. And this approach isn't just limited to selling, physical products.
Right.
It can be applied to anything you want to sell,
Mhm.
whether it's an idea, a service, or even your own expertise.
So what do you think? What aspects of your own work, or interests?
Yeah.
Could you sell using an education-based approach?
That is a great question to consider. Now, one of the most compelling arguments for education-based marketing is that it allows you to reach a much larger audience.
Holmes uses this really vivid image of, like, standing in a stadium full of potential customers.
Right.
If you only focus on selling to the 3% who are ready to buy right now,
Yeah.
you're missing out on a huge opportunity.
That's where education comes in, by providing valuable information and positioning yourself as a trusted resource. You engage the other 90% of the audience who might not even realize they need your product or service yet.
Right.
You're planting seeds that can lead to future sales down the road.
It's like that saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day.
Yeah.
Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime.
Right.
Except in this case, it's more like sell a customer a product and you make a one-time sale.
Right.
Educate a customer and you create a loyal fan for life.
Precisely. And it all circles back to that furniture store example. By going beyond just selling couches and providing valuable information about interior design, furniture care, and the impact of your environment on your well-being, they attract a much wider audience and establish themselves as like thought leaders in the industry.
Yeah, it's about becoming a go-to resource, not just another salesperson.
Exactly.
Now, once you've got your marketing strategy dialed in, it's time to focus on building a team of superstars.
Right.
And let me tell you, Holmes doesn't sugarcoat things when it comes to hiring.
He does not.
He drops a pretty sobering statistic.
Oh, yeah.
The average bad hire costs a company $60,000.
It's a stark reminder that getting your hiring process right is crucial.
Yeah.
And Holmes believes that when it comes to sales, personality trumps experience.
Okay.
He says the two key traits to look for in a sales superstar are dominance and high influence.
So you're looking for someone who's like got that go-getter attitude, the confidence to take charge and close deals, but they also need to be able to like connect with people on an emotional level, build rapport and inspire trust.
Exactly. And finding that balance isn't always easy.
Right.
Holmes even suggests using what he calls a relentless grilling technique during interviews to assess a candidate's dominance.
Wow.
It's about pushing them a little, seeing how they react under pressure.
Yeah.
Do they crumble or do they rise to the challenge?
It definitely sounds intense.
Yeah.
But I can see how it would like weed out those who aren't truly cut out for the high stakes world of sales.
Right.
So on the flip side, how do you spot someone with that high influence factor?
Look for people who are natural storytellers, who can captivate your attention and make you feel like you're the only person in the room. They have this energy, this enthusiasm that's contagious. And they genuinely care about understanding your needs and finding solutions that work for you.
Have you ever encountered someone who just like oozes charisma and persuasiveness? Someone who could tell you anything.
I'm sure we've all met people like that.
Yeah.
And while it might seem like a natural talent, it's actually a skill that can be developed and refined.
That's encouraging. So we've got our superstar team assembled.
Yeah.
Now what? How do we make sure they're focusing their energy on the right targets?
That's where Holmes's best buyer strategy comes in.
Okay.
He uses the example of an office equipment company that was wasting time and money by sending, generic advertising to every business in town.
Right.
They weren't targeting their ideal clients.
So instead of like casting a wide net and hoping to catch a few fish, they need to be more strategic.
Exactly.
Like using a spear gun instead of a fishing net.
Exactly. Holmes argues that you should focus your efforts on the best buyers. The ones who are most likely to need your product or service, the ones who have the budget to make a purchase, and most importantly, the decision makers within those companies.
He talks about this best neighborhood strategy.
Yeah.
Which is basically about targeting your marketing efforts in the areas where your ideal clients are concentrated.
Right.
Like that real estate broker who sent targeted mailers to an upscale neighborhood and saw a huge return on her investment.
It's about working smarter.
Yeah.
Not harder.
Right.
And speaking of working smarter, let's talk about streamlining your marketing efforts.
Okay, so let's imagine you've got all these different marketing campaigns running.
Right.
Radio ads, social media posts, direct mailers, maybe even some billboards. but they're all like operating in silos.
Yeah,
Is that what Holmes is talking about?
exactly. He's a big advocate for a unified marketing approach
Okay.
where all your efforts are working together to reinforce the same message.
Right.
Think of it like an orchestra.
Okay.
If all the instruments are playing different tunes, it's just noise.
Right.
But when they're all playing in harmony,
Yeah.
it creates beautiful music.
I love that analogy.
Uh-huh.
So instead of having your marketing team operating like a bunch of solo artists, you need to bring them together like a symphony orchestra with a conductor who makes sure everyone's on the same page.
Precisely. And one of the most effective ways to create that unified message is through what Holmes calls education-based press releases.
Now, I'm all for educating your customers, but press releases.
Right.
Aren't those just like boring announcements about new products or company updates?
Yeah.
How do you make those educational?
That's the genius of it.
Okay.
Instead of just sending out like a dry press release about your latest product launch,
Right.
you weave in valuable information that educates the reader and positions your company as a thought leader.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this works.
Yeah.
Do you have an example?
He tells this great story about a farm in Vermont that was trying to promote healthy eating habits for kids.
Okay.
They started painting cartoon characters on their fruit,
Oh, wow.
which is pretty clever in itself.
Yeah.
But they didn't stop there.
Okay.
They also sent out press releases that weren't just about their cute fruit, but about the growing problem of childhood obesity
Mhm.
and the importance of getting kids to eat more fruits and vegetables.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
So by providing valuable information and tying it back to their product,
Right.
they were able to get like tons of media coverage
Yeah.
and position themselves as experts on healthy eating,
Exactly.
not just another farm trying to sell fruit.
Exactly. And that's the power of education-based marketing.
Right.
It's not just about selling,
Mhm.
it's about creating a lasting impact and building a reputation for your brand.
It's about becoming a trusted resource
Mm-hmm.
that people turn to for information and guidance.
Exactly.
And speaking of making an impact, we can't forget about presentations.
Mm.
Whether you're like pitching a new idea to your boss or
Yeah.
giving a keynote speech at a conference,
Mhm.
presentations are a crucial part of selling yourself and your vision.
And Holmes reminds us that visuals are key to making those presentations memorable and persuasive. He throws out this stat that people only remember about 20% of what they hear.
Right.
But when you combine audio with visuals,
Yeah.
that retention rate jumps to 50%.
Wow.
That's huge!
It's like that old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Exactly.
And he really drives this point home with an example of a software company that was trying to highlight the increasing competition in the legal field.
They could have just presented a bunch of dry statistics.
Right.
But instead, they created this eye-catching infographic with colorful graphics and bold headlines.
Huh.
They even circled the year with the highest number of lawyers
Right.
in bright red font
Yeah.
to emphasize the point.
Yeah, it's about making the data sing
Exactly.
and making sure your message sticks with the audience
Right.
long after the presentation is over.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about how to connect with those dream clients, the ones you'd absolutely love to work with.
This is where Holmes introduces his Dream 100 strategy. He acknowledges that those top-tier clients might not even know you exist. So you have to be proactive in getting on their radar.
And his advice is bold.
Yeah.
He suggests sending them bi-weekly letters
Yeah.
packed with valuable content,
Right.
along with like small, thoughtful gifts.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's almost like a courtship, wouldn't you say?
It's about demonstrating your expertise
Right.
and building a relationship before you even make a sales pitch.
Right.
You're showing them that you understand their needs and that you're committed to providing value.
And he even has a tip for bypassing those pesky gatekeepers
Yeah.
who screen calls for CEOs.
Mm-hmm.
He says to act like you're already buddies with the CEO,
Oh, yeah.
confidently saying things like, just tell him it's your name calling.
Yeah.
Now that takes some guts.
It definitely does. But it's about projecting an aura of importance and familiarity,
Right.
making the gatekeeper think, well, this must be someone the boss actually knows.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to try that one. So let's say you've made contact with those dream clients.
Yeah.
You've sparked their interest.
Mhm.
What's the next step?
That's where building rapport becomes crucial.
Okay.
Holmes emphasizes that closing the sale shouldn't be the end goal.
Right.
It's about fostering long-term relationships, turning clients into friends who will stick with you for the long haul.
He argues that it's much harder for competitors to steal your clients if they feel like they're part of your like inner circle.
Absolutely.
And he suggests creating opportunities for bonding, like hosting events or taking clients on trips.
It's about creating those shared experiences that build trust and loyalty.
He also stresses the importance of being a trusted advisor, helping clients make decisions that are in their best interest.
Absolutely.
He gives us a great example of a couple who've been searching for the perfect home theater system for months.
Yeah.
He argues that if you truly believe your product is the right fit for them, you have a moral obligation to guide them towards that decision.
It's not about being pushy. It's about being confident in the value you provide and helping the client see that value as well.
It's about being a partner, not just a vendor.
Exactly.
So you've landed the client. You've built a strong relationship. What's next? Well, according to Holmes, the work doesn't stop there. You need a killer follow-up system to keep those clients engaged and coming back for more.
He stresses that keeping clients is just as important as acquiring them. And he advises using a variety of communication methods. Letters, phone calls, emails, even social media to stay top of mind. He even provides a specific formula for writing effective follow-up letters.
I'm all ears. What's the secret sauce for writing a follow-up letter that actually gets results?
He says to start with a personal touch, something specific to that client that shows you're paying attention.
Then remind them of the benefits you provide, framing it from their perspective. Finally, end with another personal note, reinforcing that connection.
So it's not just about saying, hey, remember me, buy more stuff. It's about, nurturing that relationship and showing them that you truly value their business.
Exactly. And he backs this up with a pretty compelling statistic. It takes 6 times more effort to acquire a new customer than to sell to an existing one.
That's a powerful reminder that nurturing those existing relationships is a key ingredient in the ultimate sales machine.
It's about building a foundation of trust and loyalty that will sustain your business for years to come.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far. We've covered so much ground, from sharpening our skills to building a dream team to mastering the art of persuasion.
Absolutely.
But we're not done yet.
Nope.
There's still so much more to uncover in Chet Holmes' The Ultimate Sales Machine. Stay tuned, because part 2 will delve into even more powerful strategies for achieving success in business and in life.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. Welcome back. We're diving deeper into Chet Holmes' Ultimate Sales Machine. And, one of the most common challenges people face is that feeling of being overwhelmed by emails.
Oh, tell me about it. My inbox is like a black hole of unread messages. You start the day thinking, I'm going to conquer it all. And then the next thing you know, you're digging yourself out from under a mountain of email.
So the constant battle, isn't it?
It is.
And Holmes offers this surprisingly simple solution. Touch it, take action. Instead of constantly checking and rechecking your inbox. Only open an email when you're ready to deal with it immediately.
So no more that endless scrolling and flagging for later.
It
sounds almost too simple. But I can see how it would help to break that cycle of procrastination and email anxiety.
Exactly. And to help you prioritize which emails need your immediate attention, Holmes emphasizes the importance of clear email labeling. So instead of vague subject lines like meeting follow-up, use something specific like action items, website redesign project.
So you're basically creating a mini table of contents for your inbox. Allowing you to quickly scan and see which emails require action.
Exactly.
Have you found this to be effective in your own workflow?
Absolutely. It's a game changer for productivity. It helps you cut through the clutter and focus on the most important tasks.
And speaking of prioritization, Holmes also advocates for keeping your daily task list short and sweet. Ah, yes. The power of a well-crafted to-do list. But how short are we talking here? I feel like my to-do list is constantly growing no matter how many things I check off.
He recommends limiting yourself to just 6 items per day. It might seem counterintuitive, but the idea is to focus your energy on those high-impact tasks that truly move the needle and avoid getting bogged down by, less crucial items.
It's like choosing your battles.
Exactly.
Focusing on those key objectives that will make the biggest difference in achieving your goal.
Precisely. And by combining these strategies,
Uh-huh.
the touch it, take action email approach and the short task list, you create this powerful system for maximizing productivity and staying focused on what really matters.
Yeah, it's about taking control of your time and your energy.
Exactly.
Instead of letting those emails and to-dos dictate your day.
Right?
Now, you mentioned earlier that Holmes' strategies go beyond just sales. He talks about reprogramming your mindset for success in any area of life,
Right.
not just in the business world.
That's right. Remember the concept of the reticular activating system, or RAS,
Yeah.
that we discussed in part 1? Holmes believes we can use the same principle to achieve any goal we set for ourselves.
So it's all about training your brain to focus on what you want to achieve.
Okay.
Like, if you're constantly feeding your mind positive affirmations
Right.
and visualizing yourself succeeding,
Yeah.
you're more likely to make it happen.
Exactly. And he offers some very practical tips for doing this.
Okay.
One is to write down your goals using positive language.
Okay.
So instead of saying, I want to stop procrastinating,
That's right.
say, I am becoming more focused and productive every day.
So it's about framing your goals in a way that empowers you
Yeah.
and reinforces positive self-belief.
Exactly.
It's almost like you're giving your subconscious mind a clear roadmap to success.
Precisely. And another technique he recommends is to create a vision board.
Okay.
This is a visual representation of your goals,
Mm-hmm.
using images and words that inspire you and remind you of what you're working towards.
I've heard a lot about vision boards.
Yeah.
And they always sounded a bit too woo-woo for me.
Right.
But I can see how, having a visual representation of your goals, something you can look at every day,
Yeah.
could be incredibly powerful in keeping you motivated and focused.
Absolutely. And the more you focus on those aspirations,
Right.
the more likely you are to achieve them.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, your RAS is always listening, filtering information based on what you're thinking about.
Right.
So if you're constantly dwelling on negative thoughts and doubts, your RAS is going to find evidence to support those beliefs.
Right.
But if you flood your mind with positive affirmations and visualize yourself achieving your goals, your RAS will start working in your favor.
It's like that saying, what you focus on expands.
Exactly.
And Holmes is basically giving us the tools to consciously choose what we want to expand in our lives.
Right.
It's pretty powerful stuff.
It really is. Now, speaking of powerful forces, Holmes's next strategy focuses on the power of building momentum.
Momentum. You mean once you start seeing some success, it becomes easier to achieve even more success.
Exactly.
Like a snowball effect.
Exactly. It's that feeling of getting on a roll.
Where one success leads to another. And pretty soon, you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Holmes calls this the piggyback principle.
Piggyback principle. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
The idea is that once you've achieved a small victory,
Okay.
you use that success to propel you towards your next goal. For example, if you've just landed a new client, you might use that momentum to reach out to other potential clients in the same industry.
So you're riding the wave of your recent success to tackle even bigger challenges.
Exactly.
It makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
Success breeds confidence.
Right.
And confidence fuels further success.
Precisely. And Holmes emphasizes the importance of celebrating those small victories along the way.
Right.
It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to acknowledge our accomplishments.
It's like we're so focused on reaching the destination that we forget to enjoy the journey.
That's a great way to put it. And taking the time to appreciate how far we've come.
Right. Can give us the motivation to keep going, to keep striving for those bigger goals.
Okay, so we've got momentum on our side. We're celebrating our wins.
Right.
What's the next step in maximizing our productivity?
That's where time chunking comes in.
Time chunking. I have to admit, the name makes me think of meal prepping.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's something far more productive.
You're right. It's about maximizing your time by dedicating specific blocks of time to specific tasks.
Okay.
Instead of trying to multitask and jump between different projects,
Right.
you focus on one thing at a time.
Okay. I can see how that would be helpful.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get distracted when you're constantly switching gears.
Right.
But how do you decide what tasks deserve their own time chunks?
Holmes recommends prioritizing tasks based on their importance and urgency.
Okay.
He suggests using a system called the Eisenhower matrix,
Okay.
named after Dwight D. Eisenhower,
Right.
the former president.
The Eisenhower matrix. Now that's a name I recognize.
Yeah. It's a system he reportedly used to manage his time as a general and later as president.
Uh-huh.
The matrix divides tasks into 4 quadrants.
Yeah.
Quadrant 1, urgent and important.
Okay.
These are the tasks that need to be done immediately, like dealing with a crisis or meeting a critical deadline. Quadrant 2, important but not urgent.
Okay.
These are the tasks that contribute to your long-term goals,
Right.
but don't have an immediate deadline. Quadrant 3, urgent but not important.
Okay.
These are the tasks that demand your attention, but don't actually contribute much to your goals,
Right.
like responding to unnecessary emails or attending pointless meetings.
Okay.
Quadrant 4, not urgent and not important.
Okay.
These are the time wasters that you should avoid altogether, like
Yeah.
scrolling through social media or watching mindless TV.
Okay, that's actually a brilliant system.
Yeah,
It really helps you visualize like what deserves your attention
Right.
and what can be delegated, delayed, or just plain deleted.
exactly. And by combining time chunking with the Eisenhower matrix,
Right.
you create this powerful strategy for managing your time effectively.
It's like you're taking control of your schedule instead of letting it control you.
Exactly.
And I imagine this approach can be applied to like any area of life,
Absolutely.
not just work.
You can use it to manage your personal time, your family time,
Right.
even your leisure time.
It's all about being more intentional with how you spend your like precious hours.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of precious hours, one area where I think many people struggle is meetings.
Oh, yeah.
They can be such a time suck,
They can.
especially when they're like poorly planned or just plain unnecessary.
Yeah, you're telling me.
And Holmes has some very specific advice on how to make meetings more effective.
He does.
He advocates for what he calls short, sharp, focused meetings.
I like it.
Short, sharp, focused thing. I like the sound of that. But how do you actually achieve that in practice?
First, he recommends setting a clear agenda for every meeting, outlining the specific topics that need to be discussed and the desired outcomes.
So no more of those meandering conversations that go off on tangents
Right.
and end with everyone feeling like they've wasted an hour of their lives.
Exactly. Every minute should be purposeful and productive.
Right.
He also suggests limiting the number of attendees to only those who are essential to the discussion.
It's like that saying, too many cooks spoil the broth.
Right.
Having too many people in a meeting can lead to confusion, conflicting opinions,
Right.
and ultimately, like, very little getting accomplished.
Precisely. And he also emphasizes the importance of starting and ending meetings on time.
Ah, yes. The dreaded meeting creep.
Yes.
It's amazing how quickly those extra minutes can add up
I know.
and throw off everyone's schedule for the rest of the day.
Absolutely. And finally, he recommends having a designated action taker for each meeting.
Okay.
Someone who is responsible for following up on the decisions made
Mm.
and ensuring that things actually get done.
Yeah, it's all about accountability and follow through.
Exactly.
It's so easy to have like a great brainstorming session,
Right.
but if no one takes ownership of the next steps,
Yeah.
those ideas will just fizzle out
Right.
and nothing will change.
Exactly. And by implementing these simple strategies, you can transform your meetings from time wasters into productivity powerhouses.
Now, speaking of productivity, I'm curious to hear more about Holmes's concept of the power of leverage.
Okay.
It sounds like a physics lesson,
Right.
but I have a feeling it has more to do with like maximizing your efforts in business.
You're on the right track. Leverage is all about maximizing your output with minimal effort.
Okay.
It's about working smarter, not harder,
Right.
and making the most of your resources.
Okay, I'm all for working smarter.
Yeah.
But how do you actually apply this principle in practice?
One of the most effective ways to leverage your time and energy is to delegate tasks to others who are better suited to handle them.
Okay.
This frees you up to focus on your strengths, the things you're truly passionate about and excel at.
It's about recognizing that you don't have to be a superhero and do everything yourself.
Right.
In fact, you'll be far more effective if you like surround yourself with talented people
Yeah.
and empower them to take ownership of their areas of expertise.
Exactly. It's about building a team of specialists who can each contribute their unique skills and perspectives. And another powerful way to leverage your time is to automate tasks that can be done by technology.
Ah, yes, the power of automation.
Right.
In this digital age, there are so many tools and software programs
There are.
that can streamline our workflows
Mhm.
and free us from those like tedious, repetitive tasks.
Precisely. Whether it's using email marketing software to automate your newsletters,
Right.
project management software to keep your team on track, or social media scheduling tools to manage your online presence,
Right.
there are countless ways to leverage technology to your advantage.
It's about working smarter, not harder,
Ex-
and freeing up your time and energy to focus on the things that truly matter.
Right.
Now, speaking of things that matter, Holmes's next strategy focuses on the importance of building a strong network.
That's right. He emphasizes the power of relationships and the importance of nurturing your connections with others.
It's like that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But I think it's more than just knowing people.
It is.
It's about building genuine relationships based on trust and mutual respect.
Absolutely. Holmes recommends being proactive in building your network.
Okay.
Attending industry events, reaching out to people you admire, and finding ways to add value to others.
So it's about giving more than you take,
Yeah.
being helpful and supportive, and building those long-term relationships that can benefit both parties.
Exactly. And he also stresses the importance of maintaining your network,
Okay.
staying in touch with your contacts regularly,
Right.
and finding ways to stay top of mind.
Like tending a garden. You have to water those relationships, nurture them, and make sure they're thriving.
Precisely. And by investing time and effort in building a strong network,
Right.
you create this powerful support system that can help you achieve your goals and navigate the challenges of life and business.
Now, speaking of challenges, I'm curious to hear what Holmes has to say about overcoming obstacles.
Okay.
Because, let's face it, no matter how well we plan or how hard we work, we're all going to face setbacks and failures along the way.
That's right. He acknowledges that setbacks and failures are inevitable on the road to success.
Yeah.
But he emphasizes the importance of viewing these challenges as opportunities for growth and learning.
It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
But it's more than just being resilient.
It is.
It's about actively seeking out those lessons that can be learned from our mistakes.
Exactly. Holmes encourages us to embrace failure as a feedback mechanism.
Okay.
To analyze our mistakes, identify what went wrong,
Right.
and use that knowledge to improve our approach in the future.
It's about turning those lemons into lemonade.
Right.
Using those setbacks as fuel to propel us forward.
Precisely. And he also emphasizes the importance of seeking out support and guidance from others when facing challenges.
It's about recognizing that we don't have to go it alone.
Exactly.
There are mentors, coaches, friends, and family members
Right.
who can offer advice, encouragement,
Yeah.
and a fresh perspective.
Exactly. And by surrounding ourselves with a strong support system, we're better equipped to navigate those inevitable bumps in the road.
Now, speaking of bumps in the road, Holmes's next strategy focuses on the importance of staying ahead of the curve.
Right.
In today's rapidly changing world, it's more important than ever to be innovative and adaptable.
That's right.
Yeah.
He emphasizes the importance of being innovative,
Right.
constantly seeking out new ideas and approaches, and staying abreast of the latest trends in your industry.
So it's about being a lifelong learner,
Exactly.
always curious,
Yeah.
always seeking to expand your knowledge and skills.
Exactly. Holmes recommends reading industry publications,
Okay.
attending conferences, taking courses, and networking with thought leaders to stay informed and inspired.
So it's about being proactive, not reactive.
Right.
Anticipating changes in the market
Yeah.
and adapting your strategies accordingly.
Precisely. And by embracing a mindset of continuous improvement and innovation, you're more likely to thrive in a rapidly changing world.
Now, speaking of a rapidly changing world, Holmes's final strategy focuses on the importance of leaving a legacy.
Right.
This is something that I think a lot of people, myself included,
Yeah.
don't really think about until later in life.
Yeah.
But it's such an important concept.
It is. He encourages us to think beyond our own immediate goals.
Right.
And consider the impact we want to make on the world.
It's about asking ourselves, what do I want to be remembered for?
Exactly.
What contribution do I want to make to my community, my industry, or the world at large?
Exactly. Holmes believes that by focusing on our legacy, we tap into a deeper sense of purpose and motivation.
It's about creating something that will outlast us.
Yeah.
Something that will make a positive difference in the world.
Precisely. And by aligning our actions with our values and aspirations, we can create a legacy that is both meaningful and lasting.
And with that, incredibly inspiring thought,
Yeah.
I think it's time to wrap up part 2 of our deep dive into Chet Holmes's ultimate sales machine.
Okay.
We've covered so much ground, From mastering our inboxes
We have.
to building a powerful network
Right.
to creating a lasting legacy.
It's been a great discussion.
It has, yeah.
Yeah.
But the journey's not over yet. Join us for part 3, where we'll delve into the final piece of the puzzle, the power of mindset. Welcome back to our deep dive into Chet Holmes, the ultimate sales machine. We've covered so much ground, from sharpening our skills to building a dream team and streamlining our productivity. But there's one final piece of the puzzle we haven't touched on yet. It's the foundation upon which all these strategies rest, the power of mindset.
You're absolutely right. All of these strategies, all of these brilliant techniques, they're meaningless without the right mindset. Holmes emphasizes the importance of cultivating what he calls a warrior mentality.
A warrior mentality.
Yeah.
That sounds intense. What does that even look like in the real world? Are we talking about like wearing camouflage to the office and doing push-ups during meetings?
Not quite. Think of it more as developing an internal mindset of discipline, resilience, and unwavering focus on your goals. It's about having the inner strength to fight for what you believe in, to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, and to never give up on your dreams, no matter what obstacles you face.
So it's about that inner drive, that fire in the belly that keeps you going even when things get tough. I can definitely see how that's essential for success in any field, not just sales.
Absolutely. And Holmes offers some practical tips for cultivating this warrior mentality. One is to surround yourself with positive, supportive people who believe in your vision. People who will cheer you on when you're winning and pick you up when you stumble.
It's like building your own personal army of cheerleaders. Having a strong support system can make all the difference when you're facing challenges. Those moments when you're tempted to throw in the towel.
Exactly. And he also emphasizes the importance of taking care of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
So it's not just about working hard. It's about working smart and taking care of your well-being, making sure you're getting enough sleep, eating healthy, exercising, and managing stress, because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Precisely. You need to make sure you're taking care of yourself so you can show up as your best self, ready to tackle those challenges and achieve your goals.
It's all connected, isn't it? Your physical health, your mental health, your emotional well-being, they all play a role in your overall success. And I think sometimes, especially in the fast-paced world of business, we forget that taking care of ourselves is just as important as closing deals or hitting deadlines.
It's about finding that balance, that sustainable rhythm that allows you to thrive in the long run. And Holmes's final piece of advice is to never stop learning, never stop growing, and never stop striving for excellence.
It's about embracing a mindset of continuous improvement, always seeking out new knowledge, skills, and experiences, never settling for good enough, and always pushing yourself to be better.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that the journey never truly ends. There's always more to learn, more to achieve, and more ways to grow.
So it's about staying curious, staying hungry, and staying committed to becoming the best version of yourself.
Exactly. And with that, I think we've come to the end of our deep dive into Chet Holmes's ultimate sales machine. It's been an incredible journey, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. We've uncovered so many powerful strategies for boosting sales, building relationships, and achieving success in all areas of life. It's amazing how much wisdom is packed into this book.
I agree. It's been a privilege to unpack these insights with you and share them with our listener.
And to our listener, we hope you found this deep dive as valuable as we have. Remember, the key takeaway here is that success isn't about luck or talent. It's about having a system, a process, a set of strategies that you can implement consistently.
And Chet Holmes's ultimate sales machine provides that system in spades. It's a blueprint for achieving excellence in any field, whether you're selling products, services, ideas, or even yourself.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a question to ponder. What's the one strategy that resonated most with you? What's the one thing you're going to implement right away to take your business or your life to the next level?
Remember, the power is in your hands. Take action, make it happen, and never stop striving for greatness.
This has been The Deep Dive signing off. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.